Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, welcome to another episode of Analytical Fanboys. I am your host, the Vacuuminator, and I'm joined, as always, by the currently uninfected Boingo Rider.
Oh no, I'm just infected in the head with a complete sickness known as Gundam Madness.
Oh, bro! But before we get into that, this episode is being recorded on March the 20th of 2020. If you don't know what that means, you're listening to this way in the future, might want to do a quick Google. Or if Google's not around, do a quick blinky head search thing with your brain chip. And how's it going down there? You guys under lockdown yet?
No, actually our county has only just had its first positive case.
Wow. You guys are making out good so far. I think I've said this multiple times. I live in Greenville, South Carolina. South Carolina has about 19 confirmed cases, I believe, as of this morning. 3 of those are in Greenville, and there has been 1 death so far, and that was a couple weeks ago. And all school is canceled. The mayor has declared a state of emergency. So restaurants are not allowed to be open. They can only run their drive-thrus, and they're not allowed to accept cash. However, most regular supermarkets are still operating, and my job is still operating. The only difference I'm feeling at work is we're all joking about the coronavirus, and we're getting a shit ton of trucks in right now because everybody's trying to get as much stock in as quick as they can in case the ports end up closing.
There's only been 1 case in my county, but there's been, I think, about 300 some odd cases in the entirety of the state of Florida.
Wow. That's a big place. That's pretty good.
But you also got to remember, the county I live in is very, very rural, so pretty much we're already far enough apart that it's not the biggest problem.
That's true. I am living in one of the biggest cities in this state.
Yeah, and one of the bigger cities of the South in general.
Yeah.
So family's just been prepping just in case, because there's been some rumors and thoughts of, nope, we're probably going to have a complete quarantine shutdown.
There has been, but so I'm trying to figure out which part to talk about first. I'm going to go with... Okay, here's the thing. We have whether you like him or not, we have a Republican-ass Republican in the White House right now. And...
Emphasis on the ass. Sorry, I had to.
The thing is, they believe in freedom and minimal government as much as possible. I think they're going to avoid having that until the last possible second. And I'm also kind of hoping they'll avoid that because I have to move in 2 weeks. Like, literally no choice. There's an eviction involved here. Not because of anything we did, just the person who owns the house we're renting decided they wanted to sell it, and not to us, and not through the property management company. So we have to be out by mid-April, and we're getting the keys for our new house on the 1st, and we're moving in on the 4th and the 5th. So currently, seeing as how it's only kind of affecting my job, I'm going about I'm taking the Nick Fury approach. Until such time the world decides to end, I'm acting as though it intends to spin on. And let me tell you, that's actually working out really well for me, because whether it's out of fear or not, all the joking about the virus at work is really fun. It's making me enjoy work a lot more. And I went out after work today. I had some bills to pay. I had to get some groceries. I went to Target. I went to my local toy store. There's less people around. And the people that are around are being so much nicer than usual. Like, I'm actually kind of happy that this virus has happened, because during what is usually a really stressful time for somebody moving that I'm going through, the entire rest of the world is being forced to mind its fucking manners.
And I will say this, if American cities have to go under lockdown, what your situation is probably enough an extenuous situation that if any cops come up and go like, what the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be quarantined. If you go, we were evicted and we have to move, they probably go like, oh, okay, just try and keep safe.
Yeah. I got fingers crossed for that. I mean, I basically told all my coworkers, hey, here's the dates that we're moving. Are you available those dates? And how much beer and or pizza will I have to buy to get you the help? Because we need this to be done on these 2 days in case because I'm thinking if it happens, it'll happen sometime in the middle of April. So, like, next week is a ridiculous amount of time because we've only just started packing. There's no way we can have this whole house packed in a week. 2 weeks is pushing it, but I think we can do it if I just don't sleep on the weekends. Yeah, we have to be out by the first weekend of April. Otherwise, I'm worried complete shutdown happens and I'm stuck in a house that's filled with boxes that I can't open for fear of shutdown ends the next day and landlord calls, hey, get the fuck out.
See, okay, real quick, not podcasting. What I would suggest you do is don't call 911. Just call the police department like regular, like, hello, I have an inquiry, and just go like, okay, this is a situation. This is what I'm worried about. What do you think should be the proper channels of what I should do? And if they say that's not really our department, we can't really help you, just go with the plan as is. If they have advice, follow the advice.
All right, I may do that. That's a sound idea. But yeah.
My family is pretty much stocked up because my family's always stocked up. My mom has like a paranoia of ever running out of food. So we always have 30 to 40, maybe even 50 days of stocked food in our house.
That's good. That's fair. And I mean, like, even whether the lockdown does or does not happen, I'm sure you saw, because you're much more plugged into the news than I am, but what I would refer to as a coronavirus kickback that Trump announced, we're all getting checks in the mail. I'm kind of hype about that because that means I might just be able to pay off my credit card debt in one fell swoop with Donald Trump's money.
Here's the thing, though. If you don't pay anything in taxes, you barely get anything. Like, the lower in the tax bracket you are, the less you're getting kicked back.
That's fair. That's a factor. But I'm trying to remain hopeful. I'm trying to remain optimistic here. And you know what? I'm sure anybody listening to this has seen those pictures that came out of Venice. Guys, Thanos was right. We're the fucking problem. This is vindication. COVID 2020. I'm doing it. Let's go. I'm happy.
And here's the thing. There's some things that I see in the future just staying in place, because what was kicking up all the pollution in the Venice canals was cruise ships getting really close to Venice.
Mm-hmm.
And Venice has been trying to fucking get that to stop for years now, and now it's stopped. They may just not lift it.
And they have, and even if they do, they have photographic proof that just how fucking they have a before and after picture.
And here's the thing. The gondolas barely push anything up, so they would still be allowed. So it would still be Venice. It would still look like Venice.
It's, as much as I'm not a fan of the show, and I know people like it, I'm not trying to stir up any shit, but as much as I'm not a fan of The Office, who would have guessed Dwight would be correct? The planet's too populated, we needed a new plague.
Because we needed something dangerous to focus all of humanity for us to realize that we're all humanity.
It's a huge wake up call, and we'll get into this a little more later. But it's forcing so many people to not only think about things in a different way, but it's forcing them to get more creative. Like all the people who actually are self quarantining, who are stuck at home, they're doing different things with their time than they normally would do. Everybody's being broken out of their routine, and they're getting a chance to go, okay, what's a different way I could occupy my time and approach life within these limitations? It's like as scary as this is for some people, and I'm not trying to downplay or make light of the situation. Anybody who's actually being adversely affected by this, I feel for you. I've donated to a couple relief efforts today after I got my paycheck. This is going to create some amazing cases of art through adversity, and it already kind of is in the case of wrestling from the past week.
And just so many YouTubers are just streaming daily now to just kind of keep everybody's spirits up.
Mm-hmm.
Like Adam Savage did a stream. The McElroy brothers are doing daily streams.
Captain Logan just did a 2-hour show literally talking about the news and also theorizing what would happen if something like this happened in comic book universes.
I know one thing that would happen. Spider-Man would volunteer himself as a messenger.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine the Flash just running around carrying vials of like potential antiviruses?
Yeah.
These are stories to be had. Marvel, DC, you guys did stuff when 9/11 happened. Maybe take note of this.
And if I may also make a little thing, I want to say this kind of ties into the thing we're talking about today.
Well, you know what? You can make that case and you can go ahead because we've been going for about 12 minutes now. So I say it's time we get into our main topic. Everybody, this week we are talking about the, I believe it's 7 episodes, or is it 8?
7.
The 7 episodes.
7th is like twice as long.
Yeah, okay. The 7 episode OVA Gundam Unicorn, which is a suggestion Chris put on the list because Chris, who's Chris? Chris is a Gundam weeaboo, weirdo, fuck, and he likes it and he wants me to like it. So let's talk about it, Chris. Explain what the hell Gundam Unicorn is and maybe also launch into this take you have.
So it's more of like just how people are responding kind of take. It's not like virus itself. It's more humanity.
Okay.
So we'll get into that. But Gundam Unicorn is a series in the Universal Century, which I will explain in a moment, taking place in 0096. A young man named Banadra Lynx stumbles into a grand conspiracy about a thing called Laplace's box. And by using his wits, the friends he makes along the way, and the Unicorn Gundam, he solves the conspiracy and tries to save the day.
It's also a huge war as hell story.
Huge, like that's everything.
Because that's the theme of Gundam.
That's the theme of Gundam, and in fact, it's made me realize there is a Gundam paradox.
Mm-hmm. And we'll get into that, and I just want to real quick before we get into some like tailored discussion. My main take on this, my opinion on this is good but not great. I think this is a really good plot with some interesting ideas behind it. However, I think the execution is a little muddled. Some of the characters don't come off as natural as they could. And a lot of the dialogue is just pontificating, and that gets a little annoying after a while.
Yeah. And also, I would like to say that there was a lot of, like, continuity nods that if you don't know Gundam Zeta, and Char's counterattack, they go over your head.
Well, I noticed a couple of things that I was like, oh, that's clearly referencing something, or like, Oh, I think I've heard of that before because I'm not going into this completely blind to what Gundam is. I've seen the first compilation movie. I've watched a couple Gundam explanation videos here and there. Like I know what the Universal Century timeline is and what that phrasing means. I know very basic stuff about Gundam, but I'd never actually sat down and watched a Gundam show until this.
Yeah, like, so you probably understand what a new type is, little things like that.
It's basically a next step in human evolution kind of thing.
Yeah, they're empaths, essentially, the best way to put it. They're empaths with spidey sense.
Okay.
Because they're in space, they need to have complete 360 omnidirectional awareness so they become better pilots. And they're empaths, and that's how enemy soldiers can have telepathic communications and argue about the merits of war in these shows.
While they're beating the shit out of each other.
Yep. But there's some other things like I didn't realize Bright was in here. Bright's a cool character from the original OG Gundam.
Oh, that's who that guy was. Okay, I thought I recognized his name.
Yeah, and the little shit from the OG Gundam who like worked with Amuro, and I think he piloted the gun cannon more often than not. He shows up as like the reporter dude.
Okay. Quick question about Gundam, because as I said, I've seen the first compilation movie. Ultimately, what ends up happening to Amuro? Does he? Because I don't care enough to go find out for myself. Does he like die in a battle or something, or is he just missing at this point?
They never confirm that he's killed in action because he's a great hero and everybody looks up to him. He's always missing in action. But essentially, in Char's counterattack, him and Char kind of do the one must stand, one must fall, but they both fall kind of thing.
Legit.
But since he's a new type, his spirit transcends humanity, and that's what
his consciousness is out there traveling the cosmos.
Yeah, so that's what those 3 spirits in the last episode were.
Okay.
That were kind of going to full frontal and going like, it's okay, it's fine. You can rest now. One of them was a character from the OG Gundam that only showed up for one episode and kind of solidified the horrors of war for Amuro. One of them was Char Aznable, and one of them was Amuro.
Legit.
So that's kind of a thing. But essentially, this is very much a story of the old generation should move aside so the next generation can truly take its place as the next step.
Hashtag remove the boomers.
Yeah, it's very remove a boomery kind of concept because...
Hashtag vote them all out. Hashtag put Vince in a home. Hashtag.
Yeah. And then basically you just have the Federation, which is not like a Star Trek's Federation. It's a completely different kind of military outfit.
Yeah, because the Federation because I know Star Trek, you don't know Star Trek. Quick explanation: the Federation is just like the government of the peaceful part of the universe that humans happen to be at the head at. And then Starfleet isn't even like a military organization. They're just like, this is how we fund ships to go out and explore space.
Yeah, Earth's Federation is basically the one world government that everybody decided on because, hey, we were colonizing space. We need to be a little bit more organized. And at the signing of the event, a terrorist attack happens. So people use that to basically gather more power and make sure that they hold on to that power indefinitely. Which eventually leads into stuff like Gundam Origin, the original Gundam, the 1 Year War, which is referenced all the time, which is what the original Gundam is.
Okay. I figured that was like either an event in the original Gundam was involved in, or it was the original Gundam itself.
Yeah, the 1 Year War is basically kind of like, that's the original Gundam time frame, which includes like the OG Gundam. I think Thunderbolt is part of that. There's a couple series within that time frame that's basically like, this is the war of Zeon.
What about Zeta? What the fuck is Zeta?
Okay, Zeta's after, where everything's kind of calmed down. Essentially, Zeta Gundam is the story of a new kid finding a new Gundam, but both the Earth Federation, but the Earth Federation's a dick this time. Like, even, like the Earth Federation you kind of see in here, that's the Earth Federation they're dealing with. That kind of goes like, you shouldn't have that, fuck you. We're in control.
All I know about Zeta Gundam is that apparently it's really dark and brutal compared to the first series.
Yeah, it gets darker in Zeta, and then in Double Zeta, it goes to complete 180.
Excellent.
But basically, the kid in the Gundam goes, I need someone to train me, so he goes find Char Aznavour to train him. And then Char Aznavour and Amuro go like, you know what? Fuck these guys. Let's team up. And so they team up for a bit, but then eventually Char Aznavour goes like, you know what? Fuck Earth, and does a counterattack, which is referenced several times in this series as the asteroids.
Yeah, I know Char's counterattack is like a classic anime movie.
Yep. But this is I fucking love this shit. I love this whole thing.
It seemed very Boingo Core in its sort of ideas about the world.
Because basically everybody's going, know what, we gotta fight because fighting gets us what we need and it helps us survive. And the main character just goes like, yeah, but you're fighting for nothing.
Yeah, the whole story, like his whole arc seems to be just a child coming to grips with the fact that existentialism is a thing.
Yeah, but basically he goes like, you're fighting for revenge. What's gonna happen once you get your revenge? They're gonna get pissed, and they're gonna get revenge. It's a never-ending cycle. Just stop it. Can you just stop it?
Oh my god, it's 7 episodes of the Doctor's speech from the Zygon inversion.
Yeah. I mean, and eventually he starts to convince people and convince all the right people, because by the end he has a Zeon captain, a Federation captain, 2 Federation captains, all on his side, backing him up, going like, nah, bitches, you're gonna listen to the kid. The kid has something in him.
I forget, was Zanabi not with him at the end of the show?
Zanabi, is that the Zeon guy?
The princess.
Oh no, she was still on the side, which is the name for all the colonies. They're sides.
Okay, I watched it last night, like really late and kind of sleepy, so I don't remember everything about the last episode.
Oh no, that's fine. But essentially, they're trying to protect the last law that was signed in, that basically the Federation kind of erased from history, which is that if a new type of human were to emerge from space, that they should have a major voice in the government. Basically, if new people happen, they should be leading us. But the Earth...
So it's the Magneto Law.
Yeah, it's basically, hey, yeah, no, if something better comes along, maybe we should follow them. But the Earth Federation goes, nah, son, we want to be in control, even though we don't have any resources, and we don't have anything of this, we don't have any of that, we don't have any real power, but we have political power. Which begins the domino of basically space noids going, yo, dude, we're making all this shit and you're getting all of it, fuck you, starting the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's meant to be this, but it's kind of like modern day America versus the rest of the world, because there's always that idea tossed around of we're a culture of consumers now, but because we're so big, we have shit tons of political power.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, but there's also, like, you gotta, there's elements of rebellion, there's elements of Japanese imperialism, there's elements of American imperialism.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a very, there's technically Yeah, there's two because of the friends. There's two cute little love stories right in the middle of it to keep the layman hooked.
Not even like two cute love stories. There's like a couple of cute love stories, but there's also like heartbreaking love triangles.
Mm-hmm.
Because essentially one of the first civilian girls, I can't remember her name, has a crush on Benager, but he doesn't reciprocate and she's heartbroken. But the best friend, who's like just a lovely dude, comes in and goes like, hey, no, it's okay. It's okay to be sad. He doesn't come on to her and just like, hey, I'm just here for you.
And she goes, okay, I guess I'll settle for your dick.
But then you have Benager, the other ace pilot, and Audrey,
mm-hmm.
all in a thing.
Which, before we get off of her again, no pun intended, I spent like half the show going, I know that voice. What's that voice from? What is she from? And then finally, last night, I went and Googled who her voice actress was. She's the dub actress for Hinata.
You know, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, and she's also the dub actress for, oh god, I forget her. Miho from Bakuman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of great political themes, a lot of great like existential, philosophical themes of war and humanity and all that kind of stuff. And it all ends up with just the main character going like, you know what? Fuck the idea of war. Humans are better than this. We're just gonna fucking be better.
Yeah. That's a good message for your show. Just fucking be better.
Yeah. And it ultimately, while it doesn't succeed all the time, it works because he talks to the Xeon captain and he just goes like, you know what? I like you, kid. And they start working together. And even through heartbreak, the captain goes like, you know what? This is the right choice for history. Mm-hmm. And all that kind of stuff. He talks to the one revenge addicted chick and he finally convinces her, yo, it's okay to let go. We can move forward. And then someone fucking ganks her. It's sad.
Like I said, there's a lot of plot ideas in here that I think is really good, but their execution was kind of like, this feels a little over dramatic for what you're doing. Like you're forcing it just a bit too much. And I did do a bit of research on this show besides just watching it this time. Like I said, I looked up the voice actors, but I also kind of skimmed the Wikipedia page. This was originally a novel.
Yeah, it's a novel series.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of the pontificating make sense. Like a lot of that was probably originally narration, and also that exchange, but where she gets ganked, kind of feels like okay, that was that probably felt a lot less operatic in a novel. Probably felt a lot more intimate.
Yeah, and like that's another thing is it was a long series of novels, so they had to truncate some stuff when adapting it.
Yeah.
They did a good job, I feel.
And again, this is not bad. It's like this is the difference between like something like Bakuman. I would call that a 9 out of 10. This is a 7 out of 10. Still good, but not highest marks. Sorry.
And if you go into it wanting some philosophy, wanting that like over dramatic, overright realized war story, and with like political thriller thrown in and all that kind of stuff, you'll probably get a lot more out of it.
Yeah, like I kind of went into this going like, okay, I guess it's time to figure out what Gundam's about, and then I got 2 episodes in, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, Gundam is just war as hell over and over again.
Yeah, it's a shame that we have to have that message repeated over and over again, but. So should we talk about the Gundam paradox?
Yes. I don't know what the Gundam paradox is. You're going to explain it to me.
Yeah, the Gundam paradox is when a piece of media reiterates how a concept is really, really bad, but then through the means of storytelling must show the concept in a interesting light, thus making the concept look cool.
So most geeky media, then.
Yeah. And I'm calling it the Gundam paradox because Gundam's all about war is hell. War is hell. But when
Here's
they do
giant robots shooting each other.
Yeah, here's cool fight scenes with lasers and giant robots. It looks really, really cool. It's really well animated. Yeah, but I thought you said war is hell. Yeah, it is. Look at all the pain and destruction these characters are facing. Yeah, but that's really cool fight scenes. I want to watch more of that. Mm-hmm. But that's war. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Shotaro Ishinomori, I want to make a show about how we shouldn't abuse each other and we should be living in a society all about love and peace. Here's how I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to make a show about a cyborg bug man beating up monsters every week.
Yeah, like, and you see it in a lot of different pieces of media, like Star Trek. We are about peace and discovery and all that kind of thing, but we're going to fight these aliens all the time.
We're going to meet. We are all about tolerance, and in the future, we all get along and are just working to the betterment of all peoples. Every other week, we meet a species that are just assholes to another species on their planet.
Yeah, the Gundam paradox. Hey, Spider-Man, you have a really shitty life, but look how much fun you're having web-slinging and fighting crime. Like,
we can go on and on with examples.
And I think it's something that needs to be looked at with Gundam. Like, there's the meme image that I post every once in a while of the Gundam firing a laser, going in an arc, and it says war is hell, and a person just goes, oh man, that's a cool robot. Because these are fucking cool robots. What do you think of the designs of the Unicorn and Banshee?
Okay, so let's get the big thing out of the way. I've said this on the podcast a couple times. I don't like the universal central, the general design philosophy of good guy Gundams. The Unicorn Gundam? Trash. Every other Gundam in this show? Based as fuck.
Wait, whoa. There's only 3 Gundams in the show.
There's Zaku's, there's like a bunch of
That's not a Gundam, that's a mobile suit.
Okay, all the mobile suits in this show, except for the Unicorn Gundam, are based.
Unicorn is sick though, it gets the fucking psycho frame.
I don't like the way the psycho frame works, I think it looks really gaudy.
Ooh, no.
Red on white does not work for me aesthetically. I'm sorry. It never has.
You look at the goddamn... If you look at like the fucking model kit, it's like pink.
It's just not my aesthetic. Like,
was the empathic psycho frame look better for you? The green one.
It's okay, but like, here's the thing. Anything that's predominantly white, I usually don't like it. Like, there's maybe 3 character designs in anything I've ever watched that really work for me that are all white. Looking at my toy shelves right now to name off a few. The White Ranger from MMPR, Vector Prime from Transformers Cybertron, and Jetfire from Transformers.
Okay. So what do you think of Banshee, though, with the black and gold?
That's a color scheme you kind of can't go wrong with. I still don't like that general, that Universal Century kind of samurai-esque design that they have.
Okay.
But like, that's a really good take on it.
So what was your favorite mobile suit?
The big bloaty one that shot homing missiles. Hang on, I added a... Okay, I put model kits on my Amazon wish list. Let me see if I can find the one real quick.
Hey, if you watch Gundam and then you want to get model kits, that's a great first step to being a Gundam fan.
I already knew I wanted to get some Gunplas because I'm toying around with the idea of build streams, but this one.
Hold on. Let me click the link.
NZ666.
The link is loading up on my end, but I really liked the Unicorn Gundam. It looks sick to me. I love it.
I mean, to each their own, you know?
Oh yeah, the multiple shield one. The one that the Cyber New type lady drove.
Yeah, I also like the red one that was the Shinju.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one with like rocket legs.
Yeah, that was sick as fuck.
Yeah. And then it made the giant fucking force field of a Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything they do looks fucking sick. Remember, though, war is hell.
Yeah, war is hell.
Yeah. Like, any of the red variants of Zaku's, which are always, like, the Char vehicles, are fucking sick.
Yeah. Which, okay, I know there's some Gundam fans out here that are going to want to murder me after I say this. The guy who's pretending to be Char at the start of this, I don't remember his name.
Full Frontal.
I kind of like his design better than Char's.
It's a very updated version of Char, and he's like half clone of Char Aznable, I think he is. Like, those like genuinely in the lore.
Yeah, I think they said something like that, but genuinely, why do I keep saying generally? Genuinely, that looks like a badass Showa tokusatsu character. Like that looks like a shocker general to me, and I was so into it.
Yeah, like just a ton of great character designs. Even the ones that aren't meant to be like cool and badass, you still get like a lot of their personality out of. Like the main Federation captain that they work with, the guy with the beard and the regular captain's hat often. He looks great.
He was cool.
And Bright, there's a really cool thing they did with Bright. In the original Gundam, he didn't really have sclera. He didn't have the whites around his eyes because he was an older Showa-style anime, so they made him a little bit more cartoony. In order to keep some of that design aesthetic in this new version of Bright, they made his whites of the eye a little bit skin tone, so they kind of blend in.
Nice.
So it looks like he still has that character design, even though he has regular eyes.
Nice. But yeah, no, this is pretty good.
What do you think?
I don't know if I'm going to deep dive into Gundam anytime soon because of it, but I definitely did not dislike watching it.
And who knows, maybe it seems like you generally liked parts of it, but you didn't like all of it. So maybe you might like Iron-Blooded Orphans more, or...
I kind of want to check that one out because few of all people recommended it, and I'm like, if few likes it, this man is famous for hating anime.
Let me put it this way. I don't think Few is famous for hating anime. I think Few is famous for hating the dumb anime submissions people tell him to go watch.
Yeah, no, actually, now that I think about it, he's famous for hating Doctor Who. And also, I kind of want to check out War in the Pocket, just because that's like a legendarily good OVA.
Yeah, like, there's a couple classic Gundam OVAs that are pretty good, that are a little bit more one and done and don't have a shit ton of what is war, what is humanity thrown in there. Even though I say this is well-written versions of it.
Yeah. Like, I think my takeaway from this podcast, because this is my first true Gundam experience, I don't think I'm ever going to be a Gundam fan. However, I will be a casual Gundam spectator whenever I'm in the mood.
Okay. I mean, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Gundam is very much a thing that I think you are either headlong in it, or you go like, you know what, I like the designs.
Yeah, you gotta have the mindset for it. It's. Oh, I'm trying to think of something I'm into that you're not super into that I could compare. Would Doctor Who be an apt comparison?
I was thinking Star Trek.
Yeah, but I'm not even like a huge Star Trek guy. Like I know a lot about Star Trek and I've seen a good bit, but there's like I'm pretty casual by comparison to most Star Trek fans I know.
Yeah, but like there are certain pieces of media that everybody can kind of go like, yeah, I respect it, but like not for me.
Fair enough.
And Gundam is very much a for me kind of thing because hey, cool giant robots, but also philosophy on humanity, the rights of people and the rights of the individual in comparison to authoritarian dictatorships.
Yeah.
Because, and it's very interesting because on one hand, you listen to the people of Xeon and you go like, yeah, no, you should have the right to self-govern. That's totally fair. But then you also remember, oh, wait a second. They want to have a monarchy, and that's kind of weird and fucked up too.
Yeah.
And then you also realize, oh, wait a second, that's only part of them. And then,
oh my god, dude. What if the virus kills the queen?
Shit, fuck. Oh, that's the thing. Benager is talking about human possibility and kindness and empathy of people working together, and that just made me think, oh wow, you see a lot of people are like helping others a lot more in this crisis situation that we're living in, and that's what reminded me.
Yeah.
That's what the show is. It's be sympathetic to other people, realize that they're people too, and realize that their pain is your pain.
Yeah. I mean, I was low-key super into best friend guy and also here girl's relationship.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great things about it. Father-daughter relationship between the cyber new type woman and the Xeon captain is heartwarming and heartbreaking all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And just like the one, I think he's Xeon, the one guy who's got like a rich family, but he doesn't really care about them except when he needs them. And he tries to take Audrey to them, and he's like,
oh,
hey,
no, he's Federation. He's Federation.
Okay, well, whatever the fuck he was. He was like, hey, marry me, and I can give you sanctuary, and it'll be fine. You don't actually have to love me, whatever. And she rejects him, and he's just like, all right, fuck it, I'm evil now. I was like, wow, that's some super fuckboy shit. But given your environment, I can see how you got there.
But the fuckboy did learn his lesson.
Yeah.
Because basically Benager kicks his ass enough and goes like, now fucking feel what it feels like to be other people. And he just goes like, this is what I've been doing to other people? Yeah. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked. Let me help you.
Hashtag rape all rapists.
That's a weird, like, sub thing in this whole show because I don't think I went through some of the character wikis and things. Okay, the purple-haired dude who was in love with Full Frontal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the books, I don't think they ever really went into the backstory in the anime. He was sexually abused and raped by his stepfather.
Yeah. Okay.
And Full Frontal saved him, and that's partially why he's so in love with Full Frontal.
All right.
The cyber new type girl was in a brothel, and the captain dad saved her from that. So that's another weird.
Yeah, I think I noticed something like that in her like weird flashback sequence in one of the first episodes.
And I think I can understand why it was a theme with several characters of like taking away their autonomy, taking away their humanity, similar to how one government can take away the right of self-government from another people and make them subjects and not citizens. Like, I don't want to say that they were making one-to-one comparisons, but like there's parallel themes there.
Yeah.
Gundam.
So, with that being said,
humanity, similar to how one government can take away the right of self-government from another people and make them subjects and and not citizens. Like, I don't want to say that they were making one-to-one comparisons, but like there's parallel themes there.
Yeah.
Gundam.
So, with that being said, that being our main topic covered, and us being in the situation we're currently in, not just the ongoing pandemic, but a situation we Modular Media have been in for quite a while, with Chris's computer not being what it once was, and the Modular Media Wrestling Podcast not being able to continue on as it has been. Last week, during what we've been up to this week, we did a bit of a wrestling sort of run around. And this week I decided just to make it official. I'm going to give us 20 to 25 minutes, and we're just going to talk about this week in wrestling. This is the MMWP segment of Analytical Fanboys, which will go from now until we can do MMWP as its own show again.
So AEW?
Best closed set show so far.
Because here's the thing, they didn't make it a weird, awkward, silent thing. They put fucking wrestlers in the crowd to make noise, and it felt more alive.
And it allowed for great character work. Like, because here's the thing. I did enjoy Raw and SmackDown. There was some humor to be found in what they did with that, like, Stone Cold going, if all y'all are ready for free 16 day, give me a hell yeah. Cuts to empty arena. That was hilarious. But yeah, just little things like MJF and Sean Spears were betting on all the matches. Sean Spears always bet on the faces. They're still good in Sean.
But also, like, MJF heckling, and just, it was hilarious. Let's go, masked guys. Like, he didn't even care about who the fucking Lucha Bros were.
Yeah, and flipping him and Sammy singing along to Judas. And
they genuinely made Chris Jericho break.
Jericho's corpsing? Send for the man. And flipping... Lance Archer and Jake the Snake are just sitting there watching patiently until it's time for their package. And then on the other side of the ring, all the faces are there just having fun, just chanting for their friends. It's great.
Yeah, and we got to see Sonny Kiss. He looks like he's good, in good health.
Yeah.
I heard that he's currently trying to finish up college.
Yeah.
That's why he hasn't been around a ton.
I mean, from what I've heard, he's still been going to shows, but they're not using him because he wants to finish college first. And also, he's in Dustin's backstage class. And this is a quote from Cody's Twitter. He's kicking ass in that class.
Oh, I would hope so. I can definitely see him becoming a huge fan favorite, similar to the league of, like, Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm. Also, quick sidebar before we get on to the big stuff. I've been texting with Cody Rhodes. Because Cody and Brandy are self-quarantining. And so Cody went on Twitter and he said, hey, I just joined this app called Community. Here's my number. Anybody who wants to talk to me, when I have a few minutes for free, I'm just going to reply to texts. So I right before bed last night, I wrote not a long text, but basically a text kind of making myself out as a mark and saying like, hey, since All In, I've been following you and you have replaced your dad as my favorite wrestler. Everything you do is inspiring. Please keep up the great work. And he replied saying, hey, thanks, man. Quick question. What are your favorite things about AEW right now? What are your least favorite things? And we've been having a slight bit of dialogue based on that.
That's awesome. That's a fucking sign of a good man.
Mm-hmm.
But also fucking Colt Cabana on the outside.
Yes. I'm so glad. Like, when he showed up at Revolution, I was like, oh, he's probably going to have a couple matches here and there, but he's mainly there to help out younger talent backstage. But no, he's getting a legit push. That's kind of exciting.
Just the moment where it's between commercials and they like normally they would just pop through the crowds and get everybody to go like, "Ah, I'm on the screen." They're doing like finger tricks.
Mm-hmm.
It's adorable.
Also, during the main event, he got "The Elite Be the Elite" chant started.
Fucking perfect. But there was also the great moment after the women 4-way, which was a great match.
Yeah, I can't. Okay. I'm trying to cut down on my Wrestle Talk slamming. I was going to say something during our coronavirus discussion, but I restrained myself. Guys, I listen to your podcast every week. The women's division is here. It has arrived. Stop slamming it. This was a great match. You had nothing to complain about, but you went, this was a good match, but we need more of the women's division. We need a story. There's fucking stories going on.
There's Swole versus Baker.
Mm-hmm. And there's
Penelope Ford versus Riho.
And who's feuding with Nyla over the title? I forgot because we didn't have a segment about it this week.
Statlander was, and then we have, what's her name?
Sheeta?
Yeah, Sheeta kind of going for it. She's number one contender right now.
By the way, that's something I said to Cody was like, I don't think it's as bad as everyone else's, but give the women's division more screen time. My pipe dream, Swole versus Sheeta for the title.
It's because Sheeta has big fucking beefy legs with kicks aplenty. Swole has big beefy arms with clothesline aplenty. That's like fucking perfect match.
Yeah, and it was either a tag match or a freeway that involved the two of them a couple weeks ago, and they were in the ring together for a few minutes during it. And they worked together so brilliantly. I was like, give me like 5 matches of this in a row, please.
Also, at the end of the women's match, they interviewed Colt, and he was like, "Oh, no, it's a great women's match. I really like Penelope Ford. I think she would have done better if Kip didn't keep trying to cheat for her." And Kip pops his head up and goes like, "Oh, mate, talking about me and my gal. You talking about me?" And Colt just smacks him and goes like, "Bitch, I'm a wrestler. What the fuck you going on about? Come on."
That's gonna be a fun match.
It's already a fun t-shirt.
Oh, is there a t-shirt?
Yeah, it's the little Colt Cabana logo, and it says, "I'm a wrestler."
Yes, I'll buy one day. So, should we talk about... I'm trying to think about...
I say we talk about Archer Package, Dark Order, and then we talk about the final thing.
Okay. I was trying to figure out, should we go in the order of things we're most marquee for or least marquee for? Let's go least marquee for and ramp it up.
So Lance Archer's fucking video package was amazing.
I agree with Ollie Davis. It was like a Rob Zombie movie.
You want to know why it's even more like a Rob Zombie movie?
Why?
That was filmed in Darby Allin's property.
That's great. By the way,
they were all Darby Allin's mates.
I know you said you listened to some clips from it, but in the Matt Hardy Talk is Jericho episode, which I listened to in full at work today, Jericho takes every fucking opportunity to put Darby over and say like he's the second coming of Jeff Hardy.
Oh yeah, no, he is.
Mm-hmm. Like he's like, oh yeah, you know how Jeff's into face paint and he's got like motocross tracks at his house? Yeah, Darby's got skateboarding stuff at his house, and he doesn't just face paint. Like, he's a legit painter. He paints all kinds of cool, weird, crazy shit that he says is just for him and his friends. He's not going to show it to the world.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy does paint, but he sells them.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy makes music, too.
I knew Jeff Hardy makes music. You've shown me some of it.
But the package is amazing. This man is in the middle of the ring going like, all right, you want to come after this guy, come after him, whoever wins, whatever, that kind of thing.
I dead ass had a split second where I was like, is that Swoggle?
And then Lance Archer pops up. He comes in and he's in the middle of the ring and he comes on and he says, "Come on." And one by one, people keep coming in until eventually, like, multiple people come in and he just goes, "Everybody dies."
He is the inverse of the Ninth Doctor. I love it.
And then a drone shot pans up and it's like the elevator scene in Civil War.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, Jake the fucking Snake is just sitting there on a rocking chair, just like, yes, good. I will hire this man.
Oh man, and it's just perfect. It's great.
Like, you don't even have to. You don't need it explained to you. It's very obvious that Jake was like, I don't know about this kid. I'm out of the game. I don't want to go back in. I'm clean. I'm good now. And Lance Archer was like, come to my house. Let me show you something. And that's how this happened.
Everybody dies. And it's just like, that's his New Japan gimmick. And it works so well in AEW.
Yeah, like apparently his first storyline is killing the Elite.
It's going to be so fantastic. It's going to be great. But we also got the reveal of the Exalted One.
Yes. So, like, I think everybody for the first few seconds of that video package was like, okay, here comes Matt, here comes Matt, here comes Matt. But when he took off the hood and we saw that it was Brody Lee, formerly Luke Harper of the WWE, I didn't get mad, I didn't get upset. I went, oh, it's the Hammer Boy. Oh, he's throwing shade at Vince. Oh my God, the Dark Order's whole gimmick makes complete and total sense now. There's nobody should be asking questions about this anymore. He's going, I was looked down upon, I was lost. Now I'm embracing the darkness to not only lift myself up, but lift others up.
Oh, but the line of shade he threw was fucking brilliant. You weren't the first old man who didn't believe in me.
Because there's been all these backstage stories about how, like, Luke Harper has just been overlooked for years and years and years in WWE because Vince wanted him to do a Southern accent when he first was when the Wyatt family was being put together, and he couldn't do a convincing Southern accent, so Vince just gave up on him right then and there. And so for the last couple weeks, Christopher Daniels has been saying, Dark Order, you're a bunch of idiots. There's Exalted One is fake. You're just teasing everybody. Get out of here. You're dummies. And Brody Lee shows up and he goes, I'm not fake. Quit dogging on my guys. We're all here now, and we're going to kill you.
And he can, like, that's one thing I love about AEW. AEW is totally willing to acknowledge other companies because he starts attacking SCU and he starts to do a Sister Abigail and he, like, looks up and goes like, yeah. And then he does his own finisher and it's like, oh my God. He's acknowledging that, yes, this is an ideological extension of the Wyatt family.
It's so good. Like, honestly, I went from being like, oh, the Dark Order are such cool bad guys. I don't know why there's people who are struggling with this. They're cool, to being like, I totally believe in the Dark Order now. I am in the Dark Order. Every segment they have, I will be cheering for the Dark Order. Oh, Evil Uno's doing like a Pledge of Allegiance thing, and he's saying, who are we? And they're responding, we are one. I'm going to start shouting, we are one at my monitor now.
Like, we were, I think, only some of the 10 people who got and understood the Dark Order when they first appeared. And didn't just immediately go like, this is dumb. Like, we loved it day one.
We were into the Dark Order before they were cool.
And now everybody's liking them. It's like, come on, man. They were cool already.
You're not the... I'm going to go up to people if I ever go to an AEW show. You're not real Dark Order fans. I was in the Dark Order. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to get my ass beat.
Yeah. But, oh, man, it was great. Beautiful, wonderful segment. Can't wait to see what happens. Because we had this end on a beautiful segment. Chris Jericho seems like he's stalling time. Just doing this rambly promo, just going like, we won, we're gonna beat your ass. Come on, Sammy, commit sexual harassment. Hey, Brandy, you want to get with me?
Well, Cody's right there, which, by the way, Cody is right there, and he's rightfully looking pissed. And Cody and Brandy's work throughout this show was so fucking on point, because, like, Brandy's the ring announcer because Justin Roberts couldn't make it because he's a Canadian. And at the beginning of the show, when you first see her ring announcing, there's a graphic that said she would never ring announce again because she ring announced in NXT for a little bit and everybody kind of hated her. So she was like, fuck it, I'm never doing this again. But when duty calls, you step up, and I really appreciate that and believe in it. Also, that opening promo by Cody was fucking brilliant because every promo by Cody is fucking brilliant. And then there was a great moment when Cody's making his entrance and he's tossing his shirt to the crowd, and then he just tosses it to Brandy, and she catches it and she's like, "Okay, thanks." But then he turns to the Elite and he goes, "That's my wife." Like, he's so happy that he did that.
And like you saw like Colt Cabana and QT Marshall act disappointed. It's like, oh man, like just playing wall with it is like, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the match was for who would have the advantage for Blood and Guts, their equivalent of War Games.
Yeah.
And the Inner Circle win.
And Jericho goes on this long rant about, like, hey, look, we're awesome. I told you we were going to win. We're great. I'm still a champion, even though I don't have the belt. The Inner Circle, we're an amazing group. We've never said a crossword to each other. None of us have ever gotten drunk during a match. We're not stupid. We're not dumb. We're not like you. And you're down a man, and you don't have the advantage in the match now. You guys are fucking doomed. Hey, I just bought that toy.
A drone just pops in.
Yeah.
And like Chris Jericho's going like, what the fuck is? Everybody's going like, what the fuck is that?
And Matt gets on the mic
and goes like, hey, you know, you're right. You're gonna have the man advantage at the beginning of the match, but you're wrong about one thing. We aren't going at this 5 against 4 because I called in a little favor because I just did him a favor. We got a 5th man, and then you hear a piano start playing, and a spotlight appears, and it's Broken Matt Hardy.
Just now reborn with the spirit of Damascus within him.
Just going full Broken Matt Hardy, the face, the tensed muscles, everything, and he just starts going, delete.
He's calling for a delete chant, and you know if there had been a crowd there would have been a thunderous delete chant. And delete. Okay. I came so much that night. It was beautiful. I'm so happy. I'm like, it's months and months of teasing and edging. It all paid off for this one beautiful month. And you know what? I'm going to say it. Even though I just mentioned how great it would have been with a crowd, I think the fact that there was no crowd made this all the more perfect because it made it feel like those old broken shot at the Hardy compound segments.
It made it feel weird and absurd and surreal, and you just go like, am I seeing this right? And it made the fear that the Inner Circle was having more palpable, and immediately got over, this guy looks insane, and he fights like an insane madman.
And when it cuts back to the Inner Circle, everyone's going like, what the fuck? What's going on? And Jericho's just standing in the middle of them, stunned, looking like he's seen a ghost.
And it works so well because, man, it's Matt Hardy. Jericho knows Matt Hardy, but he's also heard about what Matt Hardy's been through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
And little cherry on top. Little cherry on top for you. Because I don't know if this was in any of the Talkus Jericho clips you listened to. This isn't just Matt Hardy coming in to help the Elite out. As of Wednesday night, Matt Hardy is the 6th member of the Elite.
Ooh.
He's their 6th fucking Ranger, dude.
I just can't wait for the being the elite segments.
Yeah, Monday cannot come quick enough.
I cannot wait for a Road 2 segment where they have to take everything Hardy very, very seriously.
What if Road 2 is just a Hardy compound show, and we just see Senior Benjamin and watching on TV at home, drinking a beer, just like, yes, good for you, Mr. Hardy.
I cannot wait for an episode where they're in North Carolina.
That would be great if there was just like, not even like do like a deletion, but just do an episode of Dynamite from the Hardy compound.
Like, oh man, there's so much things that can be done. It'll be amazing and wonderful. And if he's with people that get and understand the gimmick, even the people who may not necessarily get it 100%, like Dustin or Cody. I'm not saying Cody wouldn't, but I'm just saying JR.
Yeah. But there's enough power there to say, like, just hearing the descriptions of how the creative process in AEW works from that Talk is Jericho podcast is so excited. It's so exciting because Matt said, like, from his observations, just being there one night, compared to WWE, it's so relaxed backstage. And the way they come up with shit is just the bookers come up and say, hey, here's here, in case you forgot, this is the point A we're at starting tonight. This is the point B we want to get you to by the end of tonight.
I remember we're trying to get to point Z. So we need to chart this whole thing out. You're in charge of the charting, but we need to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah. And the wrestler just goes, cool, I want to do this, this, and this. And they go, can you tighten up this? Yeah, sure. And that's it. That's the creative process. It allows for so much freedom and spontaneity.
Oh, man. BTE segment, Merch Freak versus Broken Hardy.
Yes. It has to happen. Merch Freak versus Big Money Matt.
Dude, Orange Cassidy meets Matt Hardy.
Yes.
Chris Statlander meets Broken Matt Hardy.
Yes.
Pac meets Broken Matt Hardy.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm happy. This is good. And here's the thing. Matt said he came to AEW because he wanted more creative freedom, but he also said that he knows he only has 5 to 10 years left in his career, and he wants to use that time to put over younger talent. Him and Jericho are of the same mind. We're gonna see things like the Jungle Boy 10-minute match. We're gonna see things like Darby for the AEW title against Jericho out of Matt. That's exciting.
Just imagine, like, once every in between pay-per-views, it's not necessarily treated like, oh, it's a pay-per-view event. It's just more of like treated like, hey, here's a cool special thing in between pay-per-views. We get a Hardy compound segment. We get like a Hardy ultimate deletion.
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
Like, think about it, like freshly squeezed deletion.
Yes. And
Death's deletion being the deletion.
I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited to see where this goes. I totally trust in AEW. And you know what? Hats off to them, because we don't know where things are going. We don't know how bad Steve Corino is going to get on us. But instead of saying next week, whenever they talked about something that they were setting up, they said on the next edition of Dynamite. Which, you know, I'll be really sad if we don't get Dynamite next week, but I'll understand.
If we don't get an episode of Dynamite next week, I kind of hope that they hand over the AEW YouTube channel over to someone like Brandon Cutler, and he's hosting a D&D game with a couple other guys. That'd be like a fun
Sure.
little like, hey, we can't give you some wrestling, but here's some cool stuff.
You know what would be badass? TNT just airs Double or Nothing. Which, okay, I said 25 minutes. We're at about 27 now. So just real quick, I just want to say I'm probably not going to be able to watch it because at the time I'll be moving house, assuming everything goes according to plan. But I'm actually really interested in WrestleMania now because the current plan, as of this recording, because it seems to change every 2 days, is that WrestleMania will be a 2-night event. It will be 4 matches a night. It will all be pre-taped, and it will be from different locations. Which means there is a very real possibility that John Cena versus The Fiend will be shot in a Hooters.
And that will be hilarious.
Yes. Like, I'm fully with Brian Alvarez on this one. If we're going to do this, let's just have every match take place at a different location. Let's play into that location as much as possible. Let's just make this the wackiest fucking Mania ever, so that instead of standing out for a weird thing, it stands out for a weirdly awesome thing that only happens in wrestling.
And I know WWE is pre-taping a lot of stuff. Honestly, I think that's a good idea, and I wouldn't mind AEW basically going, hey guys, whoever wants to come, let's just pre-tape some stuff. Maybe get like little quick filler arcs in. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. Also, literally just as you were saying that, Cody mass texted everyone on Community a selfie of him laying next to Pharaoh smoking a cigar, and he just says, hey everyone, hope you're having a good day, hope you're staying happy and healthy. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all the text says. But man's trying to keep people's spirits up. Bravo.
Yeah, brilliant. It's awesome, dude.
Yeah. But that's wrestling for the week. So let's talk about a couple other things. We're about an hour and 11 minutes into the show, so let's not go too long this week. But there's my
Blood
list.
and Guts is postponed.
Oh.
I just saw it on Bleacher Report.
Well, that's not great, but you know what? Understandable.
I'd rather the performers stay safe and healthy. Also, do you want to see what we're doing next week before we start getting into this guy?
We talked about wrestling so much that I literally forgot that's a thing you do on the show. Anyways, next time on Analytical Fanboys, I'm running the generator now. We're going to talk about Batman Ninja.
Ooh, this is a quick little animated movie. Wouldn't mind AEW basically going, hey guys, whoever wants to come, let's just pre-tape some stuff. Maybe get like little quick filler arcs in. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. Also, literally just as you were saying that, Cody mass texted everyone on Community a selfie of him laying next to Pharaoh smoking a cigar, and he just says, hey everyone, hope you're having a good day, hope you're staying happy and healthy. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all the text says. But man's trying to keep people's spirits up. Bravo.
Yeah, brilliant. It's awesome, dude.
Yeah. But that's wrestling for the week. So let's talk about a couple other things. We're about an hour and 11 minutes into the show, so let's not go too long this week. But there's my
Blood
list.
and Guts is postponed.
Oh.
I just saw it on Bleacher Report.
Well, that's not great, but you know what? Understandable.
I'd rather the performers stay safe and healthy. Also, do you want to see what we're doing next week before we start getting into this guy?
We talked about wrestling so much that I literally forgot that's a thing you do on the show. Anyways, next time on Analytical Fanboys, I'm running the generator now. We're going to talk about Batman Ninja.
Ooh, this is a quick little animated movie.
Okay.
It's genuinely just one and done animated movie about.
Oh yeah, didn't this come out not too long ago? And like, I heard that the dub and the sub are like almost completely different movies because they were making it in such a weird schedule.
I think, but basically, Batman, Robin, Red Hood, Red Robin, and Nightwing, and a couple other villains like Catwoman and the Joker and Bane. I think Bane. Slade and the Penguin all get sent back to feudal Japan, and they have a very Japanese anime adventure.
Excellent. So should we flip a coin as to whether we watch the dub or the sub?
Let's flip a coin. Let's just do it.
All right, I'm typing it. There's a Google generator, so I'm gonna do that.
Okay, you do it. I say heads for dub, tails for sub.
Okay. Flipping now. Heads.
All right, we're watching dub.
All right, there it is. All right. Well, with that said, ooh, tell me about your love for the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Ooh, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. It's Let's Face It, which is a single off of their album Let's Face It, which basically is, hey, racists and bigots and assholes, fuck off.
Excellent.
That's the whole song.
Excellent.
Basically saying, like, if you're a racist, you don't have a place at our shows. Get out.
That is a message I can get behind.
I just needed something a little happy in my day, so I just listened to that. I was like, yeah, fuck assholes.
Literally.
Yep. So I see you got a Batmobile, and it's the Batman. Is this the Batman WB show with like the cool?
Yeah, it's the Hot Wheels one. I've got it on my desk right now. I've actually been, because I bought this like 6 hours ago. So I'll text you a photo of it because I've been playing with it during the show. If I can get Discord up real quick. Yeah. This is the first Hot Wheels I've owned since I was a kid. I was just in Toy Federation today, and I saw this, and I was like, oh, it's $5? It's brand new? Yeah, fuck it, I'm getting that. That's the Batmobile of my childhood, and I don't own any toys of it. Let's get it.
It's a good Batmobile.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't say it's my favorite Batmobile, but it's definitely in the vein of Batmobiles that I like. It's nice and long. It's got an engine kind of in the middle. There's bat motifs about it, but nothing overt.
Honestly, I gotta say my favorite Batmobile is the animated series one, just because of how fucking monolithic it is.
That's fair, and it's a very similar design. Like, this one is kind of like that, but just smoothed out.
Yeah, like it's very like the animated series Batmobile is very much a car from the 80s. This is very much a car from the 2000s.
Yeah, plus there's Tron lines, and I mean, I fucking love Tron. You can't go wrong with Tron lines. Unless you're the Unicorn Gundam.
All right.
I saw it and I couldn't stop myself. I kind of apologize, but I kind of don't.
One day when we have a modular media office, I'm building a Unicorn Gundam and just putting it in the middle of the office.
You know, that was the 50th episode of Vangelis's V-Build series.
Oh yeah, no, I love that V-Build series episode.
Nice.
It's a good model kit. It's really cool.
Yeah, I put that back in my Watch Later playlist after watching the show, just because I was like, I haven't seen that since it came out. I want to go back and see that video again. But Chris, I don't know anything about Exo Man of War. Tell me everything about Exo Man of War.
Okay, so real quick, as a preamble for this, I've just been diving into Valiant. I've been reading every comic in chronological order, just because why not? Fuck it.
Cool.
Exo Man of War, the best way to put it, is it's 1 part Thor, 1 part Venom, 1 part Iron Man. Basically, the Visigoth warrior prince is fighting off the Roman legions all the way back in the Middle Ages, all the way back in those times. And all of a sudden, an alien species is there just trying to do some shit. He sees them, and he takes his little platoon to go fight them. They get captured and are made slaves for the alien race who worship plants, and they basically go like, all right, you're taking care of our plants.
Cool.
So he gets fucking tired and sick of this, and he goes like, you know what? I'm fucking starting a rebellion after like a good 6 some odd years of doing this. He's just like, fuck it, let's just fucking fight. And they do, and he finds this armor that the aliens worship called the Exo Man of War armor.
Nice.
He gets it, and he goes like, all right, cool, I'm busting us out, and we're going back to Earth because I need to find my wife and fight the Romans. So they get back to Earth, and it's modern day, and he's going like, what the fuck happened? And slowly he learns, oh, it's been centuries. My wife is dead. Rome is dead. Oh. So basically, he starts just fighting things in general. He clashes with another hero named Ninjak and whatnot. And eventually he goes to the alien planet Homeworld and frees the rest of the slaves and says like, all right, we're getting on a ship. We're going back home to Earth. Even though you have been slaves on this planet for centuries, your parents were slaves, their parents were slaves, you've just been bred as slave creatures for eons now. But we're going back to Earth, I'm your king. Because he's like, no, fuck it, you're my people. Even though, like,
Good lad.
The what?
I said good lad.
Even though, like, the aliens kidnapped, like, not just Visigoths, but they kidnapped Chinese people and African people, and they've all kind of intermixed into this one group. He goes like, nah, fuck it, you're all Visigoths, you're my people. So they go back to Earth, still modern day, and they land in a field in Romania, and they go like, all right, this is our kingdom, because that's how shit worked back in the day.
Yeah.
And all the world governments go, shit, this is bad. This ain't good. And so they send missiles, and Russia gets really fucking paranoid about it. And eventually, America goes like, hey, shit's fucked. It's not good. We can give you just a plot of land for you and your people. All you have to do is do what we say every once in a while with missions. And at first he's like, nah, fuck this. But then shit goes down and goes wrong, and he goes like, you know what? I'm going to bow my head because that's what a good leader will do for his people to make sure they have security. And that's about where I ended with my reading of Exo Man of War.
All right. Sounds cool.
Yeah. It's really dope. He's also like in their team up book, so he's in their version of the Avengers, which is called Unity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's a part of that too. So yeah, really solid little book. I'm really digging Valiant so far.
That's good to hear. Like, Valiant is not one of those things I hear talked about a lot, but when I hear it talked about, it seems like the people who are into it are really into it. It's one of those things, kind of like how Gamera isn't super huge within the Toku community, but there's just this small little core of super passionate people who love Gamera.
Yeah, Valiant's pretty good. But I think we need to talk about a fucking brilliant shitpost by Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, Weird Al has just taken this opportunity to go, taken the opportunity that is the coronavirus to go, hey, you can make comedy about tragedy and scary shit going on without being offensive. Here's a recording of me performing a song about being a germaphobe that I'm posting on YouTube. Here's a video of me redubbing a PSA about germs to be like this weird avant-garde goofy thing. Like, this is the best thing Weird Al's done since he released Mandatory Fun.
Yeah, Weird Al's good egg. He's trying to help people calm down. It's really nice. I forgot about Germs, the song though, and it was a good song.
Yeah, like literally, I've been humming that around the office. I came into work the day after that video released, and I literally went to one of my coworkers and was like, "They're all over me. They're all time," and he was like looking at me like, "Have you lost your goddamn mind?" And then when I got to the part where you actually say germs, he laughed. He was like, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah, it was just like a nice little like, oh. Oh, oh, kind of moment.
Yeah.
That was really dope.
So what the fuck is Instant Family?
Oh, okay. So every once in a while, my mom will cook a dinner, and she'll want us all to like actually eat it together, like a family.
That's a fair request.
We were eating crab legs.
Ooh.
So
no. Tell me about these crab legs first.
Oh no, they were just like pre-cooked. You just got to reheat them, kind of thing. From our, it's not an independent grocer. It's a very local grocery chain called Hitchcock's.
Okay, cool.
We just heated them up, made some like compound butter with like garlic and parsley and stuff in it, and dipped the crabs in. But whenever we eat together, like, I know dead certain that nothing I suggest my family will ever go for. We just have that. We have just completely different tastes. So I just let them pick whatever they want to watch, and just watch it, whatever.
You cross your fingers.
Yeah. So what they picked was a Matt Damon movie. No, yes. Mark Wahlberg movie called
Yeah! I love Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. Where basically him and his wife, who are house flippers, go like, you know what? Let's fucking adopt some kids. And they adopt these troubled kids, and hijinks ensue. And the old teenage one goes like, fuck you, you're not my real family. And she tries to convince her mom to bring them back. But the mom's going like, I am not fit for this. I don't want any part of this. And she gets heartbroken. And then Mark Wahlberg and his wife go like, hey, no, we care about you. Actually just care about you. We want to see you have a good life. And then they adopt him, and that's the end of the movie.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cute enough.
Yeah.
Not a movie I would voluntarily watch, but like whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like a decent family film that is guys like you and me will just stumble across. Reminds me of like People Like Us. That's a movie I watched a while ago. And it's like, oh, I would look at this cover and just this poster art that's on the DVD case and just roll my eyes normally. But because at the time I was on a mission to watch every movie we physically owned in the house, I had to watch that, and I was like, "Oh, this is a pretty decent little film." I'm surprised this happened for Chris Pine. I'm glad he made this. Good for him. I'll probably never watch it again.
Yeah, no, it was a fine enough movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, lordy. So, have the rad people already made a new lecture?
Oh, okay. So, do you know what RFCK is?
No, I have no idea what that is.
RFCK stands for Rowdy Fuckers Cop Killers. The basic thing, very, very, very boiled down. It was a series of avant-garde Let's Plays that Ben and Munchie did years ago, and then they made a Discord server for it, and then they made that Discord server into an RPG. That spiraled out of control and has now become its own fandom within the PCP. To the point where, a couple months ago, ahead of RadCon, they had an RFCK con, where some of the most prominent players got together with Munchie and Tom in Boston and hung out for a weekend. At this con, they did a lecture on the history of RFCK's lore. And that's what this lecture is. This is not the first RadCon lecture. The first RadCon lecture is out. Tom did a lecture on Animorphs. I've not watched it yet. I watched this over the course of yesterday and today. It hasn't made me want to get into Endless War, but it's made me appreciate it. Whereas before I was like, that sounds fucking weird and crazy. I don't know if I ever want to touch that. Like it's two artists basically standing there for almost 3 hours explaining this incredible collaborative piece of performance art they made. And it's really interesting because the lecture in and of itself is kind of performance art. Because all these characters from the server are the audience instead of the PCP. So like whenever they reference a big event or like a big sort of call from the server, everybody will break out into that call. Like that a main theme of them, one of their main bits of branding is RFCK is all about slime. So whenever they bring up slime, everybody goes crazy, and Ben just starts dabbing and saying dab, 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 and everybody in the crowd joins him.
This is
type. He's only good when he's around his friends.
Well, that's sad.
Mm-hmm. But
who is Digi's Kota Ibushi then?
Probably Jess.
I wonder what Jess would feel about that. If that's an accurate statement.
I don't know. I'd have to ask. By the way, I listened to the podcast episode 200, which they were broadcasted live from this RadCon. I listened to that at work today. They all went over the basic topic of the podcast was everybody going over where they were at episode 100 and where they are now, because episode 100 happened at the last RadCon. And Jesse said at the last RadCon, I was still trying to be a YouTuber. Over the course of the 2 years since that RadCon, I've since basically given up and am slowly abandoning the persona of Endless Jess in order to become a normal person, and I'm currently training to become a professional wrestler.
Perfect, brilliant, beautiful.
Yeah, I was so happy for him.
He to me, he seems like the kind of guy who'd be brilliant at character, pretty okay at the physicality, but brilliant at character.
Mm-hmm. Like, he's also talked about, because I am still a patron of him, and I don't always have the time to read them, but I'll occasionally read his text posts on Patreon, and like he goes to the gym an insane amount of times at the week. He's really trying to get in shape. So
that's good. Good.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that man. But I say we do one more, and then we'll take it home. And for that one more, I would like you to tell me about the role that almost went to JDF and instead went to Vin Diesel. Tell me about Bloodshot.
Oof. Okay. So, the basic premise of Bloodshot is it's a dude who is injected with super powerful nanites that so long as the nanites have protein, they can rebuild his body. But while he was an agent of the government, every once in a while they wiped his memories and implanted new ones, so to basically give him motivation. But he has no idea who he actually is. No idea. And basically the whole comic is, all right, fuck you, I don't know who I am, but this feels like the right thing to do right now. I'ma do it. So he sees all these kids that he helps the organization kidnap over the year who have all these psychic powers, and he sees them being hurt and tortured, and he goes like, you know what? Fuck this. He breaks them out.
Cool.
And just it's that kind of thing. He's a really cool dude who's in a very shitty situation, and he's trying to make the best of it.
Nice. That's pretty based. I'm glad for that man, even though he's fictional.
Yeah. He does team up with a super organization known as Hardcore. HARD as an acronym, and then Corpse with the P.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wasn't this like a Rob Liefeld or a Todd McFarlane thing?
No, it has nothing to do with them, but it was in the 90s, which was a heavy influence.
Okay.
But basically Hardcore are a group of Wetworks people. Think of it kind of like Suicide Squad, but they're not villains, they're just regular people.
Okay.
And they get this cybernetic implant in their brain that gives them access to harvested psychic powers. So they all have the same power set, but they all use it in different ways. And he just teams up with them for a while because his nanites are on the fritz, and the company, the organization that they're working for have like a solution that he can bathe in to like basically stop the nanites from eating him for 24 hours. So he's kind of like, I don't want to work for you, but if I don't, I die. So, but eventually that gets bitter, and he just goes like, nah, fuck this. And the evil organization goes like, we're gonna frame him, so our hardcore people just kill him, and so we don't lose an asset. Yeah. It's very, very like, oh, this is gray and very gray.
Interesting. Almost makes me want to check out the Vin Diesel movie. Almost.
You'll check out the Vin Diesel movie on DVD, just like everyone else.
Yep. I think isn't it direct to DVD? I thought it came out.
No, it's in theaters.
Rip.
It's in theaters.
Rip to any movie that's in the theaters right now. Like, Red Letter Media's whole "fuck you, it's January" thing has now extended out into the entirety of spring.
Yep. But
anyways, that's
I'm trying to
the podcast.
Pick a thing that we haven't. I thought we were both going to do one. You just wanted me to. Okay.
No. Go.
I'm trying to figure something out because we've talked about a good number of these already, and I just don't want to ask you about a toy and you go like, "Yeah, it's cool. I played with it," because I have a feeling that's 90% of the toys on here.
I mean, that's all the toys. That's all my opinions on toys ever.
Unless it's bad, and you go like, "Yeah, you're just a piece of poopy dick."
Yeah, but I don't buy bad toys. Take a sip of drink.
Right. So let's see. Kamen Rider 01, episode 27. Is it zero-y wanting?
It's zeroing. It's wanting. This episode was fucking epic because we're currently in a place in what's the word? What's the term? What's the thing? What's the fang? What's the foom? I want to say
arc?
The tournament arc. That's what I was looking for. We're at the point in the tournament arc where basically if our heroes lose one more round, then that's it. They're done. So they're having to work extra hard. And the last two episodes have been about a competition between firefighters, because firefighting competitions are a real thing. There's the global firefighter games. Look that shit up. It's cool. And so here's a real human firefighter wearing the Zaya Spec, which is basically Google Glass. And here's a Humagear firefighter. Let's see how many people they can rescue in this made-up scenario. Oh no, a monster attacked, and now the building is actually on fire. There's people who are actually in danger, and that's the place we're in this episode. And a lot of things are starting to come to a boiling point because of that. No heat, pun intended. Because there's the president of Zaya is like, let's keep the competition going. This just makes it more interesting. There's only a couple people left in there, so let's see who rescues them first. My human or your Humagear. And immediately everybody is kind of like, fuck that, you're crazy. And there's a lot of great little moments where Kamen Rider Valkyrie, Yua, is like trying to help and trying to give the trying to just be a good fucking person. And like Guy, that's his name, Kamen Rider Fowler, keeps snapping at her and going like, you're my fucking employee, do what I say. And it's very clear that she's uncomfortable and not happy where she's working. She is someone working for Vince McMahon. And there's literally a moment where Vulcan, the other shot riser, the other person who uses a shot riser and used to be partners with her on the police force, just grabs her arm and goes, "What the fuck are you standing here for? There's people in there. Let's go save them." And Fowler goes, "Hey, she doesn't work with you guys anymore. Let her go." And he goes, and he's basically just like, "Fuck you, dude. This is a life and death situation. It doesn't matter who works for who right now." And they run off to go save the day together. And it's like, okay, they're telegraphing it super hard. There's going to be a moment where she betrays him, and it's going to be awesome, and hopefully she gets another upgrade out of it. Because she has the least amount of upgrades so far next to him, but he's supposed to have the ultimate driver. There's... I'm trying to think. Oh, yes. The Humagear villains, Metsubu Jinrai, they're back on the rise because we found out the one who died in the 13th episode, he's back from the dead. He got himself put in a new body, and he seems to have matured a lot as a person. He's gone from just being this goofy, happy little boy being led around by the more serious zealot-like one to being like this almost sort of suave, serious businessman who's still a terrorist going, "Okay, zealot guy, now I'm in charge. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get your powers back, and then we're going to beat the heroes and the villain way the fuck up. Let me go get your powers." Okay, this episode he goes and gets the powers. He just hands the driver back to him, and he's like, "All right, have fun fucking shit up. I'll see you around." And it's like, what is going on with this guy? Where's this going? This is exciting. That's where we're at with 01 right now, and it's fun. Things are about to pop off. Honestly, I hadn't really thought about this, but I hope to God the coronavirus does not fuck up Kamen Rider's production schedule.
Oof.
Because that shit is super tight. Like,
dope on a rope.
But yeah, that's an Analytical Fanboys. We are Analytical Fanboys, and Boingo Rider is an Analytical Fanboy who does things. Boingo Rider, tell them the things that you do.
I'm Boingo Rider. I make video editorials on the YouTube. And if you want to go watch them, you can go to Boingo Rider. Just search it on YouTube. Find it right there. I'm on Twitter at Boingo_Rider. I'm on Instagram at Boingo_Rider. And if you want to join my Discord, it is in the description. Just click the link.
And I'm the Vacuuminator. I would give a spiel about my stuff, but everything with me is kind of in flux at the moment because I'm moving and I don't really know what I'm going to want to do with my videos after the move, or if there will even be a world within which to make videos in after my move. So, you know what?
You just gotta go 88 miles per hour.
Yeah. Just know that I exist and was once part of this podcast, which is a part of Modular Media. That's the channel this is on. You could go ahead and subscribe to it if you want to hear more episodes. You could ring the bell so you know when the episodes come out, right when they come out. If you want to listen to the show on the go and you don't have YouTube Premium, download the files. We got the MP3s. They're in a Google Drive folder. It's linked in the video description. It's right there. What are you waiting for? Go listen to us on the go. Get in your car. Go to a place. I don't care what the law says.
Get in your car. Drive off a cliff.
Yes. But make sure you're listening to Analytical Fanboys when you do it. And if you survive, you'll want to know when the next episode's coming out. So follow us on Twitter at The Modular Media. and join our subreddit, r/modular media. But that is it for this week's episode of Analytical Fanboys. We will see you next time when we'll be discussing Batman Ninja.
Yee.
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 You know what? We may be talking about Batman next time, but let's end this properly. Delete. Delete.
Delete.
Delete.
Delete.
Delete.
Delete.